I remember the morning when my world stopped turning. The sound of my phone broke the silence, and in that moment, everything I ever knew changed forever. The voice on the other end told me my wife had been in an accident, and the air left my lungs. I don't remember how I got to the hospital. I just remember the color of the walls and the emptiness in the doctor's eyes. When he told me she was gone, I stood there, unable to breathe, unable to understand how love could vanish in a single second. I looked at her face one last time and whispered, "Please wake up," but she didn't. And that was the day everything inside me went silent. Days turned into weeks, and I stopped counting. I stopped talking, stopped eating, stopped living. The world outside my window kept moving, but I didn't. I just sat on the porch of our little wooden house, watching the same road over and over, hoping somehow she'd come back. I didn't answer calls. I didn't want help. I didn't want pity. All I wanted was her, the sound of her laughter, the warmth of her voice. But all I had was emptiness. One gray morning, I found a small envelope under my door. It had no name, no address, only a red heart drawn on the front. I almost threw it away, but something told me to open it. Inside was a handwritten note. It said, "Life will break you in ways you cannot imagine, but if you keep walking, it will also heal you in ways you cannot explain." I read it again and again, and something inside me shifted. It felt like her voice whispering from another world, telling me not to give up. The next morning, I walked outside for the first time in months. The sky was heavy with clouds, but the air smelled like rain and life. I passed by the coffee shop where we used to sit every Sunday, and I could almost hear her laughter. I didn't smile, but I didn't turn back either. I just kept walking. That night, I cleaned our house, her books still on the table, her sweater still hanging by the chair. I picked up one of her journals, and inside was a line she had written months before she died. It said, "Sometimes we are not meant to fix everything, sometimes we are meant to carry it and still walk forward." I sat there with tears running down my face and whispered, "I'm trying, I promise I'm trying." After that, I started volunteering at the library. I wanted to hear voices again, maybe to feel something human. The children there were loud and full of life, and sometimes their laughter hurt, but it also reminded me that the world still had color. One little girl named Emily always sat alone reading picture books. One day she looked at me and said, "You look sad." And I said, "I lost someone." She said, "Me too, my dad is in heaven." And then she handed me a drawing of a sun behind clouds and said, "My mom says the sun is always there even when we can't see it." I kept that drawing. That night, I looked at the stars and thought, maybe someone left that letter for me because they knew I needed hope. Maybe it was my wife somehow sending a sign. So I decided to do the same. I started writing short letters of hope and leaving them in random places: park benches, grocery stores, bus stops. Words like "you are not alone" or "you're stronger than you think." I didn't expect anything. I just wanted someone somewhere to feel less broken. Weeks passed. One evening, I saw a woman sitting alone on a bench crying. I didn't know her, but I handed her one of my letters. She opened it, read it, and looked at me with tears in her eyes. She said, "You won't believe this, but months ago I found one of these letters when I was about to give up. It saved my life." I just nodded, unable to speak, and she hugged me before leaving and whispered, "Thank you for helping me survive." I stood there frozen, realizing that maybe pain can become light if you share it. After that, I kept writing letters. I started getting responses from strangers. Somehow people found me. They said those notes helped them through grief, depression, heartbreak. One man said he was a soldier who had lost his friend, and one of my letters made him decide to keep living. I cried that night, not from sadness, but from something beautiful. It was like every word I wrote reached someone who needed it, just like that first letter reached me. 1 year passed since that first letter appeared at my door, and one evening I came home to find another envelope, same handwriting, same red heart. I opened it with shaking hands. Inside it said, "Sometimes angels use human hands to send hope. Thank you for being one." I didn't know who it came from. Maybe the same person, maybe a stranger, maybe her. I didn't need to know. I just smiled and held it close. That night I sat on the porch again, the same place where I once drowned in silence. But this time the silence was peaceful. I looked up at the stars and spoke softly to her. I said, "I finally understand. Maybe this was your plan all along. Maybe you wanted me to keep living, to remind others that love doesn't end when a heartbeat stops, it just changes shape." I whispered, "Thank you for the letter, thank you for teaching me to breathe again." Now when the morning light comes through the window, I make coffee and sit by the same table where her sweater still hangs. I look at her photo and tell her about the people her love has touched, because I know now that every act of kindness carries her forward. Every smile, every letter, every heart healed through her memory is proof that she's still here, just in a different way. Sometimes at night, I think about all the people who might be sitting somewhere right now feeling what I once felt, alone, broken, tired of trying. I wish I could tell them that it won't always hurt this much, that one day they will breathe again, they will smile again, they will see sunlight where there was only rain. I wish I could tell them that even when everything falls apart, there is still something beautiful waiting to be found. I have learned that life doesn't take away our pain, it teaches us how to hold it gently, how to let it shape us into something softer, kinder, more human. We can't run from it, but we can walk with it side by side and learn that the cracks inside us let the light through. Now I tell this story because I know somewhere someone is listening, maybe driving through a quiet road, maybe sitting in a small apartment, maybe lying awake in the dark thinking it's over. But I want them to know it's not over, it's never over. The sun is still there even if you can't see it, hope is still there even if you can't feel it, love is still there even if you think it's gone forever. One day, you'll wake up and realize you survived one more day, and that will be enough. One day, you'll smile again, and it won't hurt. One day, you'll find a letter in your own way, a sign, a voice, a stranger, a moment that reminds you that life still has something left for you. And when that happens, hold on to it, because that's how healing begins, not all at once, but one heartbeat at a time. Tonight, I will sit again on the porch under the same stars and whisper, "Thank you for the letter, thank you for showing me that even when we lose everything, we can still give something back to the world." And maybe that's the point, not to stay whole, but to stay human, to love anyway, to hope anyway, to believe anyway, because the story never really ends, it just begins again every time someone chooses to live despite the pain. And maybe one day someone will find one of my letters, read it, smile, and decide to keep going, and maybe that's all the purpose I ever needed. Maybe that's how we stay alive in each other's stories. Maybe that's how love never dies.